Don't touch these 10 foods if you have type 2 diabetes. Did you know just one slice of white bread may spike your blood sugar as much as a can of soda? It's true, and for those of us living with type 2 diabetes, that one bite may quietly push your blood sugar out of control. Managing diabetes isn't only about avoiding sweets, it's also about knowing which everyday foods are secretly harming your body. In this video, we'll tell you exactly what to avoid at all costs. We're breaking it all down for you, one by one, in simple language. Always consult your healthcare provider before making any major diet changes. And stay tuned, because at the end of this video, we'll also reveal 5 powerful foods that may help destroy diabetes from the inside out. Now let's get started. 1. Sweetened yogurt. Sweetened yogurt might sound healthy, but it often contains more sugar than a candy bar. That added sugar hits your bloodstream fast, causing a sharp rise in glucose levels. For someone with type 2 diabetes, this forces the body to pump out more insulin to manage the spike, something the system is already struggling to do. Over time, these repeated spikes wear down your body's ability to respond to insulin, making blood sugar harder to control and worsening the condition. What makes it worse is the type of sugar often used, fructose. Unlike glucose, fructose doesn't go straight into the bloodstream. It travels to the liver, where it gets converted into fat. This process, called lipogenesis, increases fat buildup in the liver, which is closely linked to insulin resistance. According to Science Direct, the most recent analysis found that individuals who consumed 80 to 125 grams of yogurt per day had a 14% lower risk of developing type 2 diabetes compared to those who did not consume yogurt. This suggests that moderate intake of plain, unsweetened yogurt may support better blood sugar regulation and metabolic health. 2. White bread and refined grains. Most people don't realize that eating white bread is almost like eating sugar straight up. That's because white bread and refined grains are stripped of their natural fiber and nutrients during processing. What you're left with is a fast-digesting carb that causes a sharp rise in blood sugar the moment it hits your system. When you eat it, your body absorbs the glucose too quickly, forcing your pancreas to release large amounts of insulin. Over time, this constant demand wears out your insulin-producing cells and makes your body less responsive to insulin, one of the key problems in type 2 diabetes. Another issue is the refined starch itself. It lacks resistant starch, which normally feeds healthy gut bacteria and helps slow glucose absorption. Without that support, your blood sugar swings harder and the gut loses part of its metabolic balance. This breakdown in gut health increases inflammation, which science links directly to worsening insulin resistance. According to the United States Department of Agriculture, most commercial white bread contains 1 to 3 grams of added sugar per slice. While that might seem small, it adds up quickly, especially when combined with refined flour that already raises blood sugar. 3. Sugary breakfast cereals. It might look harmless in a colorful box, but sugary breakfast cereals may be a blood sugar disaster in disguise. Most of them are packed with refined sugar and processed grains that digest in minutes. That means as soon as you eat them, your blood sugar shoots up fast, triggering a big insulin response. For people with type 2 diabetes, this kind of rapid spike, followed by a crash, makes it harder to manage glucose levels throughout the day and weakens insulin sensitivity over time. But there's another hidden problem. These cereals usually lack real protein or healthy fat. Without those, your body burns through the meal too quickly, leaving you hungry and more likely to overeat later. That repeated cycle stresses your metabolism and increases overall calorie load, both of which are linked to higher insulin resistance. According to PubMed, children who ate breakfast daily, especially those who consumed high-fiber cereal breakfasts, showed a more favorable type 2 diabetes risk profile. Regular intake of fiber-rich breakfasts was associated with better insulin sensitivity, healthier body weight, and improved glucose regulation, highlighting the long-term metabolic benefits of nutritious morning meals. 4. Fruit juices. It might surprise you, but drinking 100% natural fruit juice may be just as risky as soda when it comes to managing type 2 diabetes. The biggest issue is that juice lacks fiber, the very thing that slows sugar absorption in whole fruit. Without that fiber, the natural sugars in juice absorb almost instantly, causing a rapid spike in blood glucose. For someone already dealing with insulin resistance, this fast rise overwhelms the system and makes blood sugar harder to control after meals. The amount of fructose is also a problem. Fruit juice is loaded with concentrated fructose, which doesn't raise blood sugar directly but gets processed in the liver. When the liver receives too much fructose, it turns it into fat, especially triglycerides. This not only raises your risk of fatty liver disease, but also worsens insulin sensitivity across your entire body. According to the Journal of Nutritional Science, fruit juices typically have moderately high glycemic index ratings, meaning they cause a relatively rapid and high rise in blood glucose levels after consumption. Compared to foods with a lower glycemic index, these juices lead to faster post-meal spikes in blood sugar, making them a risky choice for individuals managing type 2 diabetes. 5. Fried foods. Crunchy on the outside and tempting on the plate, fried foods might taste great, but they spell trouble for anyone with type 2 diabetes. One of the biggest concerns is the unhealthy fats used in deep frying, especially trans fats and reheated vegetable oils. These fats interfere with how your cells respond to insulin, making it harder for glucose to enter where it's needed. That means more sugar stays in your bloodstream, driving up blood sugar levels and worsening insulin resistance over time. The second problem is the formation of harmful compounds called advanced glycation end products, which are created during high heat frying. These compounds trigger oxidative stress and inflammation in your blood vessels and tissues. When inflammation rises, insulin signaling weakens, and your body struggles even more to keep glucose in check. According to the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition, a large study involving over 111,000 participants found that the risk of developing type 2 diabetes increased with higher frequency of fried food consumption. This strong association suggests that regularly eating fried foods may contribute to metabolic dysfunction, insulin resistance, and long-term blood sugar imbalance. 6. Canned fruits in syrup. They may look like fruit, but canned fruits in syrup are more like a dessert disguised as a healthy option. The thick syrup surrounding the fruit is usually packed with high fructose corn syrup or refined sugar, which gets absorbed quickly and causes sharp blood sugar spikes. For someone with type 2 diabetes, this forces the pancreas to release more insulin, something that's already not functioning properly. Over time, this constant overload worsens insulin resistance, making it harder for your body to manage even small amounts of sugar. Another hidden danger is how the syrup processing strips the fruit of its natural balance. The fruit loses important antioxidants and fiber during canning, and the added preservatives may disrupt your metabolic hormones. This interference may mess with how your body senses fullness and regulates glucose, leading to more frequent cravings and overeating. So while it might seem like an easy shortcut to get fruit into your diet, canned fruit in syrup is a shortcut straight to glucose imbalance. The American Diabetes Association recommends choosing real fruit or canned without added sugar to minimize risk. 7. Processed deli meats. It might be easy to toss deli meats into a sandwich, but for people with type 2 diabetes, these processed cuts come with serious risks. One big issue is the high sodium content. Excess sodium raises blood pressure and strains your blood vessels, which are already at risk from high blood sugar. Over time, this damages the delicate vascular system needed to deliver insulin effectively, making glucose control even harder. Nitrites and preservatives are used to make food last longer and make the color better. They are also a hidden danger. These compounds have been linked to low-grade inflammation and metabolic disturbances. Chronic inflammation interferes with insulin signaling at the cellular level, reducing your body's ability to regulate blood sugar smoothly. When combined with a high intake of saturated fat from some deli meats, this creates a perfect storm for worsening insulin resistance. According to PubMed, a 17-year follow-up study involving 8,400 individuals found that those who consumed meat, defined as red meat, poultry, and fish at least weekly, were 29% more likely to develop type 2 diabetes compared to individuals who reported no meat consumption at the same time point. 8. Full-fat ice cream. It may be a comfort treat, but full-fat ice cream is a major trap for anyone trying to manage type 2 diabetes. ResearchGate raised concern due to its heavy mix of saturated fat and added sugars. This combination causes a delayed but prolonged rise in blood sugar, keeping glucose levels elevated for hours. Saturated fat also interferes with insulin receptors on your cells, making it harder for insulin to do its job. That leads to more sugar staying in your blood, which may gradually wear down your insulin response even more. There is also the matter of how many calories are packed into such a small serving. Full-fat ice cream delivers a huge hit of energy without any real nutritional value. Over time, this encourages weight gain, particularly around the belly, exactly the type of fat linked to worsening insulin resistance. And because it's cold, sweet, and creamy, ice cream is easy to overeat without realizing how much damage it's doing. If you're living with diabetes, even occasional indulgence may throw off your blood sugar and make long-term control harder. Choosing smarter dessert swaps may help protect your progress and your health. 9. Energy drinks and sports beverages. They might promise energy and performance, but energy drinks and sports beverages may quietly derail your blood sugar. One major issue is their sky-high sugar content, often loaded into just a single bottle. Since these drinks are liquid, the sugar hits your bloodstream rapidly, causing a sharp spike in glucose. For someone with type 2 diabetes, this sudden surge demands a fast insulin response, something the body is already struggling to manage. These repeated spikes increase blood sugar volatility and make long-term control much harder. One more thing that worries people is that many of these drinks have a lot of caffeine and other stimulants in them. Caffeine raises cortisol, a stress hormone that tells your liver to release more glucose into the blood. That means, even without eating, your sugar levels may go up just from the hormonal response. Over time, this stress on your system contributes to insulin resistance and disrupts your metabolic rhythm. According to PubMed, sugar-sweetened beverages like soda and fruit punch are loaded with empty calories, offering little to no nutritional benefit. Recent studies have linked these drinks to a significantly higher risk of developing type 2 diabetes. 10. Baked goods. They may smell like comfort and taste like joy, but baked goods like cookies, cakes, and pastries are one of the worst foods for type 2 diabetes. The first big issue is the refined flour, which breaks down fast and turns into glucose almost immediately after digestion. This causes a quick spike in blood sugar, followed by a crash that leaves you feeling tired and craving more sugar. For someone with insulin resistance, that spike-crash cycle may wear out the body's ability to regulate glucose efficiently. The next hidden danger is the combination of added sugars and unhealthy fats, especially hydrogenated oils. Together, they increase oxidative stress and inflammation, which weaken how insulin works at the cellular level. That means more glucose stays in your bloodstream, further escalating your condition. These treats are also incredibly calorie-dense and easy to overeat, which only adds to weight gain and worsens insulin resistance. According to PubMed, studies show that frequent consumption of baked goods, particularly those high in refined sugars and unhealthy fats, is linked to an increased risk of developing type 2 diabetes. These ingredients contribute to insulin resistance and glucose spikes, making baked treats a significant factor in the progression of the disease. Moving on, let's discuss 5 powerful foods that help destroy type 2 diabetes naturally. When it comes to managing type 2 diabetes, we often think only about what to avoid. But there's another side to the story. You may also fight diabetes by adding the right foods to your plate. In this part of the video, we'll walk you through 5 incredible foods that don't just help control blood sugar, They actively support your body in reversing the damage diabetes causes. If you're ready to give your body a serious advantage, keep watching. 1. Bitter melon. Bitter melon works like natural insulin inside your body. It contains unique plant compounds called charantin and polypeptide P, which help reduce blood glucose levels by improving glucose uptake in cells. These compounds act directly on insulin receptors, helping your body use sugar more effectively. In addition to regulating sugar, bitter melon also slows down the digestion of carbohydrates, preventing those rapid spikes in blood sugar after meals. Its antioxidant content supports pancreatic health, protecting the beta cells that produce insulin. Over time, regular intake of bitter melon may lead to better glycemic control and fewer complications. 2. Flax seeds. Flax seeds are packed with lignans and alpha-linolenic acid, both of which are known to improve insulin sensitivity and reduce inflammation. When you consume flax seeds, they slow the absorption of glucose into the bloodstream by forming a gel-like fiber in the gut. This leads to steadier blood sugar levels and less demand on your pancreas. They also help lower fasting glucose levels and hemoglobin A1C, a long-term marker of blood sugar control. The high antioxidant content further supports your metabolic function, protecting against oxidative stress that worsens insulin resistance. Just 2 tablespoons a day may offer protective benefits against diabetes progression. 3. Fenugreek Seeds. Fenugreek seeds are a time-tested remedy in diabetes care. Rich in soluble fiber and a compound called 4-hydroxyisoleucine, they help stimulate insulin secretion while slowing down the digestion and absorption of carbs. This double action helps stabilize post-meal blood sugar spikes. Fenugreek also improves glucose tolerance by enhancing insulin sensitivity in peripheral tissues. Its anti-amenity and lipid-lowering properties further support heart health, a major concern in diabetes. Soaking a teaspoon of seeds overnight and consuming them in the morning is one of the most effective ways to harness their benefits. 4. Okra. Okra contains a thick mucilaginous fiber that traps sugar in the digestive tract, preventing it from being absorbed too quickly. This results in a more gradual rise in blood sugar after meals, easing the load on insulin production. The polyphenols in okra also help reduce oxidative stress on pancreatic cells. Okra extract may help lower blood glucose and improve lipid profiles in people with diabetes. Its anti-inflammatory effects further help restore balance in metabolic pathways, making it a smart, natural ally in the fight against diabetes. 5. Cinnamon. Cinnamon contains a compound called cinnamaldehyde that boosts the activity of insulin receptors and increases glucose uptake in muscle and fat cells. This helps lower blood sugar naturally without overworking the pancreas. Cinnamon also slows gastric emptying, which means sugar enters the bloodstream more gradually. Regular consumption has shown reductions in fasting glucose and improvements in insulin resistance. Just half a teaspoon a day, when used consistently, may have noticeable effects on glucose management, especially when paired with a balanced diet and lifestyle. When you avoid these 10 foods, you're not just cutting sugar. You're giving your body a real chance to stabilize blood sugar, reduce hidden inflammation, and protect your insulin sensitivity. Every bite we take either fuels or fights the progression of type 2 diabetes. That's why it's so important to choose foods that support your health, not sabotage it. If we stick to a nutrient-dense whole food diet filled with fiber, lean protein, and healthy fats, we may take real control over our blood sugar and feel better doing it. Small changes lead to big wins. In this amazing video, we learned about all the foods that you should not avoid if you have type 2 diabetes. But did you know that there are many ways to protect your health? Want to find out more? Watch 2 boiled eggs a day will do this to your body. Or watch Avoid turmeric if you have these 4 health problems. Watch one, or even better, watch both. What other foods should we avoid in type 2 diabetes? Let us know in the comments below.